Number two, I'll revoke you and I'll give you 4 years. Those are your two choices. All right, so Deputy Laura, if you put her in cuffs, since you want to be next to her son and put her in the box, oh no, there are plenty of places that you can get employment at. Nobody's going to judge you at KFC. They just want to know, are you going to be to work on time?
Yeah, but is a pay good enough for you to live?
Well, guess what?
And nowadays they don't even pay you enough to pay your rent to go
Okay.
shopping and groceries. So it's hard to live in this world like that.
Then why do you keep bringing children in the world that you financially cannot support?
Some defendants don't just drag themselves into trouble, they drag their families too. These are the top 4 entitled punks faced Judge Boyd in court.
If you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
30.
And what are you going to be 30 for?
We
All right, how often are you smoking?
about like once a blunt a day.
Okay. And who do you live with?
My mother-in-law.
All right, do you have
Mother-in-law.
children?
One children, I have one on the way.
All right, how old is your child?
10.
And do you live with your child? Are they at the residence?
Yes.
When's the last time you had employment?
It's been a while.
So how did you have money to go to a sports bar to drink? Because they're saying you were intoxicated in the middle of the street. That's why they were called for a welfare check.
I was in the parking lot. I was in the middle of the street.
All right, so how did you have funds to go to a bar and have alcohol if you're unemployed?
I had asked for money. I had borrowed some money that time
From who?
from my mother-in-law.
All right, so this is what I don't understand. You're an adult male. Don't you feel some kind of way that you have to go to your mother-in-law? She's already letting you live with her. And obviously you and her daughter keep having children that you financially can't take care of. So she's having to financially take care of children, living with the fact that you all keep having children as though you don't know where babies come from. And then you're asking to borrow money from her and you're getting intoxicated. That could have been
It
money
was
for
just
your
a period
10-year.
of time I was going through a moment in my life. So right now I'm just trying to do better. And my lady does work. So we do not live off the mother-in-law,
You do.
but my girl takes care of me. We're a couple, we've been together for 12 years. So, it's a thing we got for each other.
Well, that's a thing that I guess she is tolerating that. Sometimes people accept things, but you need to have employment because
Yeah, but how can I get employment if I don't got the right nowadays people just go by judgment. They want to judge you for everything.
oh no, there are plenty of places that you can get employment at. Nobody's going to judge you at KFC. They just want to know, are you going to be to work on time?
Yeah, but is a pay good enough for you to live?
Well, guess what?
And nowadays they don't even pay you enough to pay your rent to go
Okay.
shopping and groceries. So it's hard to live in this world like that.
You're right. So let me ask you this.
Especially when you don't got a car or when you gotta get around.
Mhm.
It makes life harder on you, especially when you don't got no parents. I grew up all myself in my life.
Mhm. So let me ask you this. If you have all those stumbling blocks in your life where you say it's hard to get a job, you can't get around because you don't have a vehicle, because I guess the via is too good for some people, and you can't get a job because people are judging you, then why do you keep bringing children in the world that you financially cannot support?
If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
No, I mean, that's a fact. You are bringing children into this world. You don't have any money to provide them with clothing. Obviously, the person that you're with is financially taking care of your children. You are not. The grandmother is giving you a place to stay, and you're borrowing money from her to go to a bar. Those are the facts. So, what's your mother-in-law's name?
Angie, I already don't know too much. My girl's right there. She could tell you about her mother.
Oh, let's bring her up. Hello. Hi, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. All right, can you state your name for the record?
Gabriela Montes.
Gabriela Montes. So are you and Mr. Elizondo married?
Not by law.
Okay.
maybe like 2 years. Oh, it was in 2020. We worked in the same company. So 20.
So you worked in the same company in 2020? So why did he no longer work there?
I really
At
don't.
that time, I was going through issues with myself.
I really don't remember, but I mean, he does like side jobs, I guess you could say, here and there.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for giving me some insight. All right, he can come back.
Judge, I believe basically in just the evaluation that Dr. Smith made, I think there's probably the court can become cognizant of the fact that why he's unable to be employed. He kind of, with his bipolar situation, it's just kind of difficult for him to be able to probably hold jobs.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. There's to be no contact with 210. Sorry. It is. There's to be no contact with 210 Sports Bar located at 1946 Southwest Military Drive, San Antonio, Texas, 78221. There's going to be a mental health evaluation and a TAP evaluation in custody. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. 6 years deferred adjudication. Follow all TAP recommendations. There's going to be a $2,000 fine. The court will probate the fine.
Thank you, Judge.
This is run concurrent with 717-866, taking consideration 718-308, 720-320, 720-321. There's to be restitution, if any, to the city of San Antonio and cause number 720-320. There's going to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once parenting classes are completed, 100 hours of community service will be waived. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. There's to be no contact with Angela Del Rio and Gabriela Montez or 51 Story Wood.
How if I live there?
And that's San Antonio, Texas, 78213. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else?
Did you order field visits?
Yes. Field visits. One time per month until further notice. And you can see if felony drug court, do a referral to felony drug court. And if he needs a place to stay with his drug history, he can stay at lifetime recovery. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Make sure that you stay in communication with probation. If you feel as though they're not addressing any issues, you can always come back to the court. Good luck to you.
Judge, wait a minute. As far as addressing the issue, as far as no contact with Ms. Del Rio or Ms. Gabriela, he's been living there for the last 10 years. I mean, it's just going to be kind of difficult for him to be out of that location.
Oh, that's why I ordered lifetime recovery.
But wouldn't it be better just for him to continue living there because he's employed?
No. So We'll see where we are after he completes lifetime recovery.
Lifetime recovery is how long of a process?
It depends on your client. Sometimes it's 90 days.
So we can come back and revisit the issue
Yes.
in 90 days. Okay. I will do that. Okay, thank you. Ma'am.
All right, you're welcome. Yes. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
I did not understand that one.
All right, you don't understand you have a
No, I
right to
didn't.
jury trial?
I mean, I heard it, but I didn't hear it.
All right, so do you need to speak to your attorney?
No, can you please repeat the question?
Do you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes, I don't.
All right. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 1 year in the Bear County Jail. State recommends community supervision. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. I'm going to need you all to be quiet in the box, please. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Tegui, Tegui, Bizu, Biezou. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
That's forever?
You're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand that?
I mean, yeah, but I can never for protection.
You need to speak to your attorney about that. But with an
Okay.
affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition.
Okay,
Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
And with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent. Did you understand that?
This is the first time I heard of that.
All right, so I'll let you all step back so
So
you
I'm
can,
no, what does that mean?
I'll let you
That
speak
I'm
to
not-
your attorney about that.
I'm not allowed to have children?
Oh, you can have children, but if there's some sort of custody issues that arise, technically and legally, the court is not allowed to have you as primary custodial parent. Now, if in the best interest of the children, they determine that you will be the best placement, then they can do that. But if there were any type of custody issues, and there's a person who appears to be a good parent and they don't have an affirmative finding of family violence, then they're supposed to be designated as primary custodial parent. I'll let you speak to your attorney about it. So I'll have you all step back and you can talk to your attorney. And counsel, if you could talk to her also about the possession of weapons or ammunition. All right, thank you. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
He has had the problem, I guess, communicating and understanding what is happening, but after explaining several times for the situation, she understands everything, and we're asking that the court accept the recommendation from the state to place on deferred.
All right, what was your warrant for? In the police report, it says that when the complainant called the police showed that you had a warrant. So what did you have an active warrant for?
It had been for a failure to ID.
All right, state, can you see if there are any pending charges other than this case?
Yeah, there's a failure to ID. Oh, sorry.
Your Honor, there's a failure to ID, and that one is, according to the state, would be TIC.
It's not listed in the plea.
Judge, there is, but we can, I can enter a dismissal. I think you just give me a couple notes to fill out a dismissal.
All right, thank you. All right, are you employed?
At the moment, no, I'm not.
How do you support yourself?
I'm living with family right now.
What family is this?
My mom.
All right, and Child Protective Services were called. Is Child Protective Services involved?
Yes.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Well, let me strike that. The state is requesting that actually you have a conviction. What the court can do is you can have a conviction. That's what you bargained for, or either I can give her deferred adjudication.
Leave do us for deferred adjudication if you have to.
All right, if the court were to give you deferred adjudication, if anything were to happen and your probation were revoked, you could end up with potentially 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. What the state has offered you, if you were to not do well, you could still end up with 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. So which would you prefer? Would you prefer conviction or deferred adjudication?
Conviction.
All right, court will sentence you to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail.
No, miss.
You said a conviction.
Oh, I thought, okay, I'm sorry. Oh my God, no. No.
So are you
I thought
asking,
you meant like on the record.
are you asking for deferred?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with the deferred adjudication, the court could sentence you to up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail if you are unsuccessful. Do you understand?
Yes,
And up to a $4,000 fine. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
And are you requesting that the court give you deferred adjudication?
Yes.
All right. Court will sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Tagai Buzu. If there is some kind of child custody arrangements that need to be made, you'll need to make those through a third party. If you wish to have contact with him, he'll have to come in to court, and I'd have to hear some evidence with regards to that. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to request parenting classes. CPS should give you parenting classes, CPS compliance. Probation, if CPS is giving her parenting classes, then she can, then the court will accept parenting classes from CPS for her. There's to be the BIPP course, TAP evaluation, and whatever the TAP comes back with, we'll start with supportive outpatient treatment. And again, if CPS is giving her alcohol treatment or drug treatment, then CPS can do that, and that'll be acceptable. Regular UAs, I'm going to want field visits at least 1 time per month until further notice.
You said, what did you say about minors?
You're not to have any employment.
Oh, like a daycare? Okay.
Yes. And you're to follow all CPS compliance rules. Did you review this document with your attorney entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Did you review that document with your attorney?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you. This one, she was placed on probation in 2023. I'm not going to extend her. So probation, you all are recommending on Ms. Brown, you all are recommending SATIF.
Judge, the recommendations for DDRF.
All right, DDRF. All right, and has she already been approved? There's no other,
Your Honor, I believe there was a similar issue with when she got off her medication to go to SATIF, and then the SATIF didn't accept her after that. And then I think, at least according to my client, there was an issue with DDRF not accepting her because she had gone off of her medication. So I think there was an issue on.
all right,
both sides.
so Ms. Brown, are you currently on your medications?
No, and I haven't been able to get back on them since SATA told me to get off of them so I can go to the program. And I got off of them and they just still denied me. And then I still haven't been able to get on meds. They haven't gave them back to me. And I've been off since April.
All right, so here's my question. The medication you've received, who was that through?
It was through here.
All right, so probation. Can we make sure that the jail knows that she's supposed to be on medication? So that,
So it looks like the eval is for MIC supervision only,
okay,
not for inpatient.
all right. So state. That was Mr. Dunn. My understanding is the state wanted to continue her.
Yes, they were asking to continue and extend for 2 years as well as DDRF, and we were asking. We weren't opposed to the continuation or to the extension, Your Honor. We were just asking for outpatient treatment, given the circumstances with the difficulty getting into DDRF and for status.
All right, and so in reading violation of condition number 15, I think the name in that violation is incorrect.
It is, Your Honor. And I discussed that with the COO, at least the main one. She was aware of that issue. Both violations that are alleged are still for Ms. Brown. I think there was just a typo in the name.
All right, so you have no objection to the oral amendment to the correct name in the violation of condition 15? All right, so Ms. Brown, have you ever been out of custody since you've had this charge?
Well, yeah,
All right, so have you been out of custody while you've been on probation before?
yes, Your Honor.
All right,
I
so,
just- I'm sorry.
no problem.
I just been here since January.
All right, so you were placed on probation and then you were out of custody, is that correct?
Yes,
All right, and my understanding, we had DDRF was not available because of her length of probation.
Correct. She would need at least 1 year remaining for DDRF.
Okay. All right, so who were you living with?
my mom.
And has anyone talked to her mom to see if her mom wants her back in the home?
I have not been in contact with the mother, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have your mother's number?
Yes.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do, because I don't want to set her up to fail. If you'll give her number to your counsel, then if you in probation can speak to her
Okay.
to see if she is okay with her going back to her home, then I'll be able to have an idea of what to do with this case. Now, have you talked to your mom on the phone?
About a week ago.
All right, did you ask her if you could stay with her? And what did she say? All right, here's the thing. If I go on your word and allow you to live with your mom, probation is gonna call. And if your mother says you can't live there, you can't live there.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna deny the motion and you to reside with your mother. And you're to make sure that probation has that address. Do you understand? Probation, is there anything else she needs? So for now, if you want to be around minor children, even if they're your own children, your mother or some adult that's approved by probation must be present. And that's just until you get back stabilized on your medications. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court?
No.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. If there are issues or something's happening at your house, maybe you and your mom are not getting along. Because I tell people all the time that when you live with somebody else, if you're living in their space, their rules apply. No matter how old we are and it's our mom, if they want the television off at 10, TV must be off at 10, whether you're 12 or 30. All right?
Right.
If something happens where you all get in an argument and she say you have to leave, don't just throw your hands up. If she wants you to leave, you come back to court or call your probation officer and we'll figure something out. Don't just fall off the face of the earth and then you're back in blue. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe excuse.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Fine.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're doing well because you're before me.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not before me because you've been successful. And you're not before me because you have questions. You're before me because I have questions and probation has questions. All right, let me ask you this. If you're revoked on this, how much time could you do in prison? What's the, no. everybody will say, I can't do any time in prison. You know, somebody would tell this story for us this is when I first started out. They said the judge asked the defendant, so how much time could you do in prison? Just let me know. And you know what they said? The defendant told him, oh, I can do 2 days. And you know what the judge told him? You know what? You just look at every time as 2 days increments. And you know what that judge did? Sent that person to prison for 30 years. So on this case, how much time could I send you to prison for?
How much you can?
Yeah.
10 years?
10 years?
Wow.
Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to go to prison because you are not doing what you're supposed to do?
Right.
And people, well, you're acting as though you do, because people are working with you and it says your counselor contacted you and said you missed your group session.
Ma'am.
And then the counselor said, look, I will let you make up those sessions. And your answer to this counselor, knowing you could go to prison for 10 years, was, I don't think I can do that. So do you think you can do 10 years in prison?
No, ma'am.
Then why are you acting like you can?
I live in Universal City, ma'am, and recently I've been just struggling. You know, I've lost my job because of transportation, getting back and forth. There's no public transportation in Universal City. Mr. Sheridan is a wonderful counselor. You know, I did go set up that meeting with him again because he helps me a lot. You know, I just wasn't able to. I'm not able to move, like get to places, you know, so.
Who do you know in Universal City?
I have a roommate. I don't have no family out here. All my family has passed away. I'm from California, you know, so I don't really have people here, you know, I don't have any help. I've been paying $400 every 2 weeks at where I'm staying just to live there, you know, and then I've been catching Uber and Lyft back and forth to work to get there. And then that's a lot of money, you know, I don't have it, you know, and then, I've been trying to do it. I could get to places, you know, like today I walked from Universal City to Converse to catch the bus to get here today. But I don't have like funds. Like I'm just getting backed up and on everything, and everything is kind of like coming at me at one time. And I don't know, I don't have no help. You know, I don't have nothing.
How old are you?
30, about to be 31 next month.
You'll be asked to step
I'll be
outside.
I'll be
Just 1
31.
second, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is talking to the inmates like this is visitation? Who is it? Deputy Lord, who was it? Excuse me? Hi, miss. I'm gonna need you to step outside the courtroom. All right.
I'll be 30.
Yes.
I'll be 31 next month.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be 31.
All right, so you're gonna have to sit down with somebody. And by somebody, I mean probation will help you. You're going to have to get employment and figure out a budget.
I do. I have income tax. I was working all last year. I have income tax coming February 26th. That's going.
Well, I hope you didn't have somebody do your income tax where they take
No,
a
ma'am.
major percentage of it and then,
I don't know. I just filed. You know, I file with her every year. You know, I work every year. Yes, ma'am. And
all right, so he's saying he lives in Universal City. Are we aware of him living in Universal City? Did you let them know you lived in Universal City? So state, this appears to be his issue. He doesn't have any transportation.
I was able to obtain my license. I've been working on that. I did get a car, but the next day it had a blown head gasket, so I lost it and I lost my money. So that kind of set me back as well, you know. And I've been trying to get a car like the right way, because that's why I really got my license and did that, because I didn't want to get another car that was going to go bad on me. So I got my license and trying to do it. the
All right, and they
way.
say you work full-time at Hooters, or you did? What do you do at Hooters?
Cook.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right. Ms. Abrams,
Yes, Judge.
they're asking for him to restart IOP.
Yes, Judge. That is the recommendation.
Ma'am, I tried to enroll into the VIP class online due to my transportation issues, but it was $195 to enroll. I didn't have the money, you know. I enrolled in Mr. Sheldon's class.
All right, and see, here's the thing. I understand how finances are hitting you, right?
That's right.
But you know why these financial issues are hitting you and you gotta still just deal with it? Because these are consequences for your offense.
That's right.
So if you would not have committed this offense, guess what?
I wouldn't be in this
You wouldn't be
situation.
here. Ms. Abrams, with regards to enrollment in BIP, he says he's getting his income tax, so we can give him till March 28th to enroll in BIP. You drug tested today. What are the results gonna be?
You did any drug.
All right, so we're gonna drug test him today.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that his last drug test was positive for marijuana back in December. So we can see if that's out of the system by now.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna get drug tested today,
Wow.
and we're gonna see what the results are. And if the results are positive, we're gonna have another conversation. But for now, he's to enroll in the BIP on March 28th, and he's to restart IOP. Right. So we do have Officer Siddell here. Does anyone wish to ask him any questions?
Yes, Judge, if I may.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
You do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Michael Seidel, Community Supervision Officer, Bear County CSCD Office, Unit 7.
All right. And to the court reporter, that is spelled Seidel. And could you all not send anything else to the printer since we're by Zoom? All right, you may proceed, defense.
One moment, Chair. Mr. Seidel, do you have any knowledge on whether or not Mr. Moody showed up to get a drug test and was denied the opportunity to do so?
I do not have anything specifically in regards to that.
Judge, I think this might be the wrong witness.
All right. So do you know when he was scheduled for a drug test? Is there any way to check?
Yes, he was, he said that he would submit a drug test that day, April 24th at our meeting.
All right, so is there any way for you to check with the facility to see if he actually submitted or tried to submit a drug test on that day?
They do not have a record of him attempting to submit a drug test that day.
All right, and do they place in a file or something that says he didn't submit or attempt to submit?
Yes, there would be a record here in their database, and there is not.
If someone showed up with the incorrect amount of money, would that be reflected on that database?
No. They would all in the database, it would be if they tried to submit and didn't, or if they didn't come back or something like that, but not if they didn't have the payment.
Ask the witness.
All right, so that it can be very clear. If someone were to show up for drug testing, do they have to sign in?
Yes.
All right. And if they sign in and don't have money, will it still show up that they actually signed in and appeared?
In what I have access to, I do not have that. It would not show in what I have access to.
But would it show up that he even appeared, regardless of whether he was able to pay or not? Will they take his name down that he actually appeared?
That I don't know.
All right. So, Ms. Abrams, when can we?
Judge, so we would have to move this to like the contested hearing. The people from RMS would have to be subpoenaed in order to be here. If it's gonna be, we need specifics on that specific day. I did reach out to Mr. Seidel to ask him about the payment situation, whether or not they would take a combination payment, cash and card. And RMS, he did reach out to RMS in regards to that, and it was confirmed that they do not take a combo payment. So
No, they would.
they would,
They would take a combo payment.
okay. I misread the information. So at this point, we would have to set it for contested if you would like us to get RMS here.
All right. Any other questions for Officer Sidell?
Not for Officer Bill, Judge, but I just wanted to clarify, it's my understanding that the defendant has pled true already to this particular.
Yes.
Not sure if it would be necessary at this point. This one would be.
Well, the issue is, he's saying the reason why he's pleading true with the explanation. He's saying the reason why he didn't take the drug test is because they wouldn't take a combination payment. He said he had $8 in a card and they told him no. So Officer Sidell is saying they will take combination payments. So if your client wants someone here from the facility, they're probably going to end up saying, maybe, maybe not, they're going to probably end up saying they do take combination payments. But since he's pleading true with an explanation and that's his explanation, then we'll get to the bottom of it. So
Hey, Judge.
we'll have them here. Yes.
This, for that,
I'm sorry, what?
I went, like I said, I went up there, and I started with the $8, and they told me I had to add exact payment.
No. Let me stop you right there. Your testimony to the court was you had a payment for $8 and you had a card. And you said that they would not take a combination payment. That's what you told the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Officer Sidell is saying, yes, they will take a combination payment. So what we need to do, we'll have somebody zoom in from that facility, and either they're going to tell me they'll accept a combination payment or they won't.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, Ms. Abrams, how much time do you think we need? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? All right, so where are we on compliance?
Your Honor, Mr. Moody came in, I believe, last week, asking assistance from the court to be heard in reference to his GPS tracking device.
Yes.
We're requesting it be changed from partial to tracking only. He's currently at Haven for Hope in the courtyard area, and he does have a job right now. The issue is with partial, he can only have the one job. He's looking to get another job to make money to make it out of Haven for Hope, get an apartment, stabilize himself in the community. So that's the reason why we filed this motion for your consideration.
All right, State, are you in agreement with tracking?
We are not, Your Honor. Given the supplemental report that was filed and the information contained in that report, it does seem like there was some deceptive behavior that time of the defendant. And that was just as recently as mid-September. Additionally, we have spoken with the complainant in this case, and she is fearing for her safety. She has applied for a protective order, and so for those reasons.
I will tell you what, this is what the court will do. I'll consider your motion for tracking once you do have a second job.
Okay.
Yes.
So they're not allowing me, they only allow me to, GPS, my, Mr. Patel, the corporal, he's not allowing me to, he only allowed me to go to, work and come back. So it's kind of hard to talk to Corporal Patel.
Well, do you have, don't they have computers? Are you allowed to look for work on computer? How can they not have computers there?
Right, that's computers, and then they make them leave at 5 in the morning every day, and I'm just trying to go to work. I'm not, I don't mind the GPS. I don't have no problem with it. I'm just trying to.
Let's do this. Then what the state is telling me and what the state has told the court, is that true or not true?
It's true.
All right, so you need to show me sometimes on GPS where there are no issues with you. Because I will look to see if somebody has been having issues or not. Normally, if they have not had any issues, even though the state may say, we want them to remain on GPS, I'll start with tracking only. But you're not at the point for tracking only because you've had these issues. So I tell you what, counsel, if you come back March after spring break, because spring break, people tend to get a little crazy. I don't know why.
Yes, John.
If you come back after spring break, I'll reconsider the tracking. Yes. John Martinez. Excuse me, the lady, excuse me, you, come forward. Yes, come, no, 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 come forward. First of all, why are you in this court in shorts?
I'm sorry, I was just, I don't know, I've never really been in court.
All right, second of all, turn your phone over to the deputy. Do not close it. Deputy Laura, if you'll delete whatever photo she took, please.
This is just.
All right, who are you taking photos of?
Oh, I was just letting my daughter know my son was okay and that he.
No, my question is, who are you taking photos of? All right, so Deputy Laura, if you put her in cuffs, since you want to be next to her son and put her in the box.
I apologize, ma'am. I did
Oh, I
not,
appreciate your apology.
I didn't know.
All right,
Put your phone's picture up.
and who is Rick in the box?
He's with Charles Monk.
All right. Well, I'm sure Charles Buck will come back and take care of you, but for now, you're going to be in the box. There's Nick.
He's coming, Judge,
All right.
and he apologizes for his mother.
Oh, don't you know, we're
Good
all
evening.
adults. I appreciate you apologizing for your
I
mother.
really do.
Yeah, but you know, if she calls you or visits you at the jail, remember to tell her, you know, she can't do that in court. And let me explain to you why. Because we try to run things smoothly. And when people start doing extra in the audience, the deputies are on high alert. They're already on high alert. Then people end up not being able to come back to court. And I know you would like her to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'm sorry. We just buried my brother, so she's kind of.
Oh, your defense attorney explained it to me. So I talked to the defense attorney and the deputy. She's going to be released, but sometimes people need to see how it looks in the back.
Yes.
And then they'll say, okay, I'm going to follow the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So where are we on this case?
Okay, Judge, I'm recently new to Mr. Contreras' case. He has on his MTR an allegation of a new number one. And for reasons that I can't explain, his new number ones have been pending in another court for a long time.
Oh, I can't explain either.
However, I've remedied that. They're going to be transferred to this court. Mr. Garahan, for that reason, has never even seen the new number ones.
Okay.
So so we're going to ask for some time.
Okay.
For that to happen. In addition, no one's ever asked for a bond to be set on Mr. Contreras' MTR. He's on deferred adjudication for this offense. I'm asking the court if the court would consider setting him a bond.
All right, let's do first things first.
So I'd like to reset his case first.
Yes, all right. So, yes, I don't know why those cases
I
are
don't either, but
in the
that has
175.
been fixed. I've spoken to your court staff and they've remedied that as well. So.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, let's recall this in 30 days. We'll call it in 30 days as far as the discovery. It won't be set for hearing yet. So, all right, so it's going to be July 25th.
I'm out of town. Can we do the following week? Yes.
Sure.
Please. Yes, that's perfect.
All right, so August 1st for discovery on new cases.
Attorney, are you Mr. Bunk?
I am Charles Bunk. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. And State, are you prepared to proceed on an oral motion?
Yes, sir.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 2910W, State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. Rob, parties announced for the record for the state. Defense.
Charles Bunk for Mr. Contreras.
And are you Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense is asking for bond and by way of oral motion. Any objection to the motion being oral?
Not from the state, no, Your Honor.
All right, the defendant is on deferred adjudication. Legally, he's entitled to a bond. Have you all had a chance to discuss a bond amount?
No, Your Honor.
Do y'all want to discuss a bond amount?
We will briefly judge this. That we've agreed, if it satisfies the court, we're in agreement at the bond being set at $10,000.
All right.
That is correct.
All right, the court, the defendant is on bond out of this court, so the court is aware of the defendant's criminal history. The court is aware of the defendant's mental history, which does not exist. And so I'm just putting on the record that the court is aware of his background. So since you've been at the Bexar County Jail, have there been any mental health issues that have arisen?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you on any type of medications?
Not ma'am.
All right. And do you have a place to live if you were released?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there only adults in the household?
My son lives there.
All right, how old is your son?
He's 3. He's gonna be 4 in October.
All right, so your son is there and who else is there?
His mother.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement. Set your bond at $10,000. There should be no unsupervised contact with minors, so you can have contact with your son, but there needs to be an adult there.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is going to be, you're going to have to do UAs. Probation will tell you of a location you can go. Since this is still pending
Yes, ma'am.
and open, the motion to revoke, you're not currently supervised by probation because the motion to revoke is pending. So they'll let you know where you can go to do UAs. It just won't be done under them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to order regular UAs. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May we
You're
have a great day.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
He needs to tell you something.
All right, so everyone, the cases I have now are the only cases that I'm taking up. Everything else will come after recess. And so the cases I'm taking up is going to be McDaniel, Rowley, Luna, Medellin, Johnson. All right, and I don't have an,
I have it in my hand. Somewhere. Right here.
Copy, Judge.
no, it's the trial court certification.
Let me get his autograph.
Okay, thank you.
Where you can go?
Thanks, Judge.
Mhm.
If I may, Judge.
And what page is he on there? Thank you. All right, court is calling 2021 CR 2910W, State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Charles Bunk for Mr.
And-
Contreras.
And are you Rick Anthony Contreras?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the documents entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Rick Anthony Contreras who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2910W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on March 30th, 2021 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, violated case number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. Defendant Rick Anthony Contreras within their failure to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September, October, November, and December 2023, and January, February, March, and April 2024, violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
I will waive the remaining violated condition.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement? All right, state, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Defense, what are you requesting?
We're requesting, Judge, that he be evaluated for the drug court. And then get treatment, hopefully get treatment as required and recommended by the drug court. Mr. Contreras, he did not report as he pled true. His brother got sick in the end of 2022. His brother passed away December of 2023, which led unfortunately to his not reporting. In addition to that, there was an accident that he was involved in and his wife and son were involved in. His wife was in a wheelchair. As a result of that, she just recently has begun to walk again. So he didn't, while he was dealing with his brother's loss, he also was helping his wife, his then wife, now his ex-wife. He's no longer with that young lady. But he was taking care of his son and helping her recover from the accident. The combination of those things placed him in a position where he began to make some bad decisions and perhaps use some substances that led him into the path to where I believe drug court is something that would absolutely help him. He's asked me about it. I've explained to him that it's intensive and, is a difficult trail, but he says, hey, that sounds like something I could really use. So we're asking the court to refer him to the drug court. And then whatever they recommend he do, he's ready to do it. So I think he's an excellent candidate for that. And we'd like you to send him there.
All right. Anything your client wishes to say to the court?
Am I correct in what I've said to the court?
Yes, you
You
are.
want to raise your right hand for me?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Rick Anthony Contreras II.
All right, what drugs are you saying that you've been using?
Marijuana, and I was using methamphetamines.
How often were you using meth?
I was using it every other day.
All right, so I don't understand how you're able to take care of family members, but you're using meth.
I was taking care of my son and everything, but when my brother passed, I just fell into a deep hole. I wasn't using drugs, I was only smoking weed, but when my brother passed, I dove into using meth.
And how old is your son?
My son is 4.
And you're taking a 4-year-old using meth.
No, I was taking care of him and I stopped because his mom just started to be able to walk. She's able to move and stuff. She was in a wheelchair. I was taking care of him the entire duration of probation.
All right, so when did you start using meth while you were taking care of a 4-year-old?
I wasn't taking care of him when I started using it.
All right, so you waited until his mother could start walking, then you went off to start doing meth.
He started using meth after his brother. His wife had already started to walk again before his brother passed. So she was able to resume care of his son. But shortly after that, his brother passed. And at that point, he started using meth, but he was no longer caring for his son because his wife had resumed the ability to walk and care for their son.
All right, so why are you not reporting?
I didn't report because I was taking care of my son. I was in the,
Then his brother passed.
my probation.
Don't report because you're taking care of your son.
No, ma'am. My probation officer had sent me a text message telling me that I had a failure to report. She's putting a warrant out for my arrest. I continued working at the same job. I didn't want to go to jail because I was taking care of my son at the time. I did not want to lose that and put her in a worse position while she was not fully.
So this is what I'm not understanding. I'm trying to get to the crux of this situation. You're not reporting. You know you're supposed to report. Am I correct in that?
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you pick up the phone and call your probation officer and say, the mother of my son has had an accident. She's in a wheelchair. This is what's going on with my life. Can you help me a little bit on the reporting?
Your Honor, I did talk to her. The probation officer that I had was not cooperating with me. My first probation.
So let me stop you there. If that probation officer is not cooperating with you, and I've seen you before, because you've been before me before,
Yes, ma'am.
why didn't you come to court and say, Judge, this is what's going on with my life?
I didn't know I could come to court and do that.
No, don't do that, because I tell everybody they can do that. People get upset with me sometimes when I tell people, talk to your probation officer. And if you feel as though they're not addressing your issue, you can always come back to court. We're here Monday through Friday. I tell everybody that. I tell everybody that when they're placed on probation. And then when they have a motion to revoke from me, I always ask them, is there anything else that we can do to help you that you feel that you need? And then I tell them again, if you feel as though probation is not addressing some issue, you can always come back to the court.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. My first probation officer was really helpful, and she helped me a lot through all of my stuff. She would help me with my field visits. If I wasn't able to make it home in time or the field visit stopped, she would send them to my job.
All right. Any questions,
No, Judge.
defense state? All right. Here's the thing. You're not leaving the court today. You're either going to safety or either you're going to be revoked. That's what's going to happen here today. And the reason why I'm leaning towards you going to safety is because you have a son. He's young. Maybe you can get your life together, stop using drugs, and be there for him. But you're not leaving the courtroom today. So you have a choice. These are your choices. And there are no other choices that you have. One, I continue you. You're going to safety. Safety is a 9-month program.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to be in custody. Number two, I'll revoke you and I'll give you 4 years. Those are your two choices. And if you want to discuss it with your attorney, you can discuss it with your attorney.
Can I discuss it with him? as well?
Yes. Oh, he wants to discuss with you. Okay. All right.
But I can go back to what I take, like, No.
Today?
Who's here on Yvette Martinez? Are we ready on Contreras? You ready on Contreras?
Judge, I was hoping, I was asking probation if there was a way for him to be drug tested. And I'm told there's not.
No, there is not.
With the court, he's on the ankle monitor. Would the court allow him to go take a drug test? So because I think that's, you talked earlier about problems with probation. I've been trying to get him to take a drug test with probation since he's been on bond. Probation has refused to allow him that opportunity.
No.
Because I
He's
mean,
either-
it's unfair to him that he
No.
can't provide proof to the court that he's not on
No.
drugs.
He's either going to safety.
Well, no,
or
Judge, hold on.
Mhm.
It's unfair to him not to be able to present evidence to the court that he's not on drugs because probation has refused him the possibility to take a drug test.
Okay, so you have two choices.
No, Judge,
Safety or 4 years.
no,
That's where
Judge,
we are.
hear me out. It's unfair. This gentleman has an opportunity, has been asking probation
Mhm.
for over a month to come take a drug test, as you told him to. You told us when we were here last time, go to probation and take drug tests. You told us that. We've been emailing his probation officer over and over and over. The court wants us to take drug tests. We've been unable to because they don't
I
ask.
don't want a drug test today.
Judge,
But I mean,
that's
if
not
you
the
all want to
point.
give me a drug test, you can, but he's not leaving the court today. That's where we are. And the court is going to go